सत श्री अकाल, नमस्कार, सलाम, याली मदद, गुड इवनिंग टू कनाडा। आप सबका स्वागत है हमारे प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस में। आप ये प्रोग्राम देखते हैं हमारे अपने टीवी चैनल पंजाबी नेशनल पर और सुनते हैं हमारे अपने रेडियो सुरसंगम पर। हर वीक मैं आपके साथ जुड़ता हूँ, आपका होस्ट, आपका दोस्त अमृत बरार, और आपके लिए लेके आता हूँ ढेर सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन, और वो इन्फॉर्मेशन जो आपके लिए और हमारे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है। उसी तर्ज पर आज हम आपके साथ एक बहुत ही बेहतरीन इंसान को जोड़ेंगे जो कि हमें बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन देने वाले हैं। ये एक लॉयर हैं और कम्युनिटी सर्विस के लिए हमेशा तत्पर रहते हैं, और जब भी मैंने इनसे बात की है एक गुड वाइब्स आती हैं, एक अच्छा लगता है कि ऐसे इंसान भी हमारे माशरे में हैं जो कि सेवा करने के लिए और लोगों की हेल्प करने के लिए हमेशा रेडी रहते हैं। तो आइए मिलकर स्वागत करते हैं हमारे अपने आर्यन सरदार जी से। सर, वेलकम टू द शो।
Thank you very much, Amritji, for having me. It's always a pleasure.
So Aryan, today we will be talking about something very important, और वो है सोशल मीडिया, और सोशल मीडिया के रिलेटेड लॉज और किस तरह से सोशल मीडिया कैन हार्म somebody or it can harm ourselves. In a way, if I am posting something on social media, how it will affect myself and the other person. And thank you so much for taking our time to talk about this subject. To start with, Aryan, social media consists of like WhatsApp, Instagram, YouTube, online newspapers, personal blogs from the personal Facebook pages, or Twitter, people are tweeting. So all this comes under social media. Please let our listeners know how any tweet or any post on social media which I don't like, for example, right? And you send me something which I don't like, and I react to that. What is the level, like, where I can say that this person is harming me?
Thank you, Amritji, first of all, for giving me this opportunity to be before your listeners. And with respect to answering your questions, or actually addressing your concern, I want to make one thing clear, that this discussion is just a general discussion and it's not a legal advice.
Of course.
So we want to make sure that's out of the way.
Of course.
With respect to, that's a very good question that you raised. I also believe that social media is also a good platform to be used for a lot of positive awareness that we will be making, and making your voice heard across the globe. And if there is any issue with different, whether it's municipal, provincial, federal, and I think all these social media platform is there to help us.
Right.
However, the issue that I believe your listeners and our Calgarians should take into consideration, especially those who are lacking or new to Canada, they should take that into consideration, the fact that everyone is entitled to their opinion, freedom of expression under our charter rights, but at the same time we got to be very careful of what are we sharing on social media.
Right.
For example, if someone is making a post from an anonymous account, and let's say that person is John Doe, and we don't know who that person is. Now, Amritji, for example, yourself, you're gonna go ahead and share that, and we're just making example. And now Jane Joe is being the victim of that post. So now keep in mind though, John Doe's out of the picture because no one knows who John Doe is.
Right.
Now you relied on John Doe by sharing that post. Now Jane Doe could have a potential claim of defamation depending on the contents of that social media. If it is, you could be a potential lawsuit against you if that person has a claim. And of course, that totally depends on what is the content, what you're sharing, and you got to be careful. So the purpose of what I'm trying to say this is that anything you want to share, you want to make sure it's from a reliable source,
Right.
and you want to make sure it's factual and it's valid. It's not false.
Right.
So that's the best, I think. If everyone does that, then there's no issue. I don't see any issue with that, and everyone is entitled to share their opinion, and that's what these social media platforms are for.
Absolutely, Aaron. The only thing which bothers me where people start trolling, right? Now, trolling is something which is can be very effective mentally, physically, and people can hit your mind, your heart in a bad way, right? Today, I have an opinion about a particular, say, government policy, right? And the pro side of people who also like that, they would say, hey, yeah, this is right, this policy is incorrect. But maybe the people who are not so good with that government will say, hey, this policy is not good, right? So now here the clash starts. According to you, as a lawyer, again, as we said, this is not a legal advice, as a discussion, where you think that person can go to an extent where that person will feel, no, it's too much? Do you have anything which can relate to that, there is any law related to that now the trolling is too much, or I feel myself that, no, this is going into my head? Can I go to the police, or is there any law which will help me to save myself from this trolling or these kind of things?
Well, in answering your questions, I want to be very clear here, because we don't know exactly what are the contents are being shared.
Absolutely.
That's number one.
Right.
And of course, for example, as I mentioned earlier, if someone is posting something that's a defamatory statement against you, which cause you harm to your reputation, to the community, and from a reasonable person, that is the defamation.
Right.
And you need to consult a lawyer to see your areas, what you could potentially have against this individual. At the same time, I want to be very clear, defamation is a very complex area of law.
Right.
And of course, there's elements for it to be there. So my suggestion, as we mentioned, this is not legal advice. My suggestion would be, for example, if I'm in that situation where I see that this discussion is going somewhere where it's because, it's all lead to a negativity, and it's not gonna give us anything. It's just arguing with each other. If by you sharing that comment and posting on that comment, not only you're giving that person attention, you're also sharing all his information to your friend list as well. So for no reason, that person gets unwanted attention that you want to give. So the first step will be is that in my opinion, of course my personal opinion, if that comment is something to do with just a general debate and that's his opinion, I'll just walk away and I'm not going to entertain. Your opinion is A, as is B, you're going to leave it at that, that's it. However, if he says something that you think that now it's going to cause you harm, then you have to take a screenshot of that, of course.
For sure.
And having said that, it's always good to know that defamation, there's two types of defamation.
Right.
There's slander and there's libel.
Okay.
So slander is something to do oral. So like someone says, hey, you're this, you're that, and you piss that person off.
Right.
That's just between two parties. However, if a third person heard that and that third person goes and shared that online, that Amrit said so and so about John Doe, and now John Doe could have a potential claim against you and that person who went online and shared that because you made a false statement against John Doe.
Right.
So that's that. Now in terms of, it's also like if you feel like now being harassed and you're getting text messaging on your inbox and someone's making threats in terms of making your life, you just feel like you're being harassed. Of course, we have police. You make your complaint to Calgary Police, and of course, you have your full rights to make that statement. And under Criminal Code Section 298 clearly states and give that right to an individual if someone's making defamatory statement about someone, and that potentially caused that person harm to reputation or any sort of, it could be a possible investigation into that, and it will be up to the Calgary Police to make that decision if they want to, well, when I say Calgary Police, we're in Calgary, but any police authority in Canada, that's what I was, that's what I meant. But in terms of, if it's not harmful, my suggestion would be I wouldn't waste my time, because you're wasting your energy. You're giving, of course, as I said earlier, social media should be for positivity, and we do work and basically make awareness. Like, for example, a good example is the farmers protest.
Right.
Regardless of your race, background, whether you're from India or not, you made good awareness. Everyone came together because it's a good cause. Now, if you stick to just because it's a personal thing and then you want to carry on with the same personal agenda, then you might get yourself in trouble.
Right.
So you got to be careful with that. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. आप देख रहे हैं प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस, और हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं एक बहुत ही अमेजिंग लॉयर से जिनका नाम है आर्यन सदात, जो कि आज हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं, और हम लोग बातचीत कर रहे हैं सोशल मीडिया के बारे में। एक छोटा सा ब्रेक, और ब्रेक के बाद मैं दोबारा आपके साथ हाजिर होऊंगा। आप देखते रहिए हमारा प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस ओनली ऑन पंजाबी नेशनल टीवी। एक बार फिर से स्वागत है हमारे प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस में, और हम लोग बातचीत कर रहे हैं सोशल मीडिया के प्रॉस एंड कॉन्स के ऊपर। सोशल मीडिया, जैसे अभी आर्यन ने बताया, किसान जो मूवमेंट चल रही है हिंदुस्तान में, उसमें एक बहुत अहम भूमिका सोशल मीडिया ने निभाई है। जहाँ पे इंटरनेट बंद हो गए थे, वहाँ पे लोगों ने रिकॉर्ड करके किस तरह से लोगों को सच्चाई दिखाई, वो भी अपने में एक मिसाल है। लेकिन सोशल मीडिया को, जैसे आर्यन ने कहा, पॉजिटिविटी के लिए यूज़ करना चाहिए, ना कि नेगेटिविटी के लिए। और जहाँ पे आपको लगता है कि कोई इंसान आपको बहुत ज़्यादा तंग कर रहा है, जो कि आपके जहनी तौर से आपको नुकसान कर सकता है, माली तौर से नुकसान कर सकता है, तो बेटर है आप उससे दूर हो जाएं, क्योंकि अगेन यहाँ पर हम सब ने मिलकर रहना है और इस अमेजिंग कंट्री को और अच्छा बनाना है। Aryan, I have my next question for you. That is filming of any incident, and especially filming when there is police involved, the cops involved. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like there is a Uber driver, right? And the Uber driver is driving, and there is a passenger sitting at the back. Now the police stops them. They just want to check something. First of all, are they allowed to do such kind of things? That stopping any vehicle on just a pretext that they want to check?
Well, first of all, when a police stop you, they should have a reason to stop you.
Okay.
And if you're just driving an Uber and
I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, I understand. If you're driving Uber or you're delivering pizza, as long as you follow the rules and everything, unless there's a check stop, of course they're not going to stop you. But if they have done, they have to have a reason for it.
Right.
Now, in terms of answering your question, for a police officer to go inside your vehicle without your consent, of course the police officer would do ask you, may I search your vehicle? You're in full rights to say no.
Okay.
In order for them to search your vehicle, they should have a search warrant for your vehicle. And in order for them to get that search warrant, they gotta prove enough evidence beyond reasonable doubt before a judge to get that warrant. So, of course, and I do want to mention this, especially in Calgary Northeast, our community, because it's a very diverse area and a lot of different ethnic minority. It's unfortunate that Calgary police, as soon as they go behind a vehicle, even if that person is driving perfectly fine, they're going to end up doing something wrong, which they get pulled over. But I want to tell them that, look, you're protected. Police are there to protect you. And it's not there to go and make your life miserable. Now, and second part of your question that you asked about filming.
Yes, so my second was that if any incident is going on, right, and because again, it is related to social media, that's why I asked you to put some light on that, and I start filming and I put it on my Facebook, like, oh, this was happening today, and this is what I found and I recorded that. That is the first part, rather section A. Now B will be like if they are asking me any questions, if I'm sitting in my vehicle and the cops are asking me questions, can I record that too?
Fair enough. So your question got two parts.
Yes,
I'm going to
yes,
answer.
please.
And I want to also make sure that what I'm saying is we're just talking,
Yeah.
and it's a general discussion.
Right.
And answering your question, the first part was that you're entitled to record whatever you want, and you can share it whatever. I'm assuming that if you're sharing something. But the only thing I'll be careful for is, for example, if there's a police investigation, you don't want to share that because it may have some sort of effect or impact on Calgary police investigations that they're doing, or if it's RCMP, so whatever jurisdiction it may be. So in answering your question is, yeah, you filmed something, of course you have a reason, in your mind they did something right or wrong, or that person was doing something wrong. Now, I cannot give a definite answer to you that, yeah, go ahead and post it. But I want to be very careful, but it's your right. Of course, no one can ask you to, hey, don't record, because you can record whatever you want. But now, how are you going to use it? That's a question.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
Right. So filming is not a kind of, it's not against the law, but how you use it, that could be a criminal, or that could be against the law, right?
Well, I can't say criminal. It depends on what you're sharing, right? For example, as I said, it totally depends on the contents of the video.
Right.
I want to be clear on this.
Right.
It depends on the contents of what you're recording. For example, a good example, a police officer comes in your view, the conduct is wrong.
Right.
You want to record that
Right.
because you want to send it to their supervisor. You want to send it to Calgary Police Citizen Unit to do an internal investigation.
Right.
You have full rights to do that. And I personally don't see anything wrong with that because you're not breaking any law.
Right.
However, if there is an investigation and the police are there and you're interfering in between their investigation, which will obstruct their investigation, then you may be potentially opening yourself up to a obstruction charge of interfering with the police investigation.
Right.
So as I said, so now I don't know, as I said earlier, I want to be very clear because it's a very narrow area of law because I don't want anyone to rely on this.
Right.
Because I want to be clear. You can record. Now, of course you record, you have a reasoning for it recording. You can't just go record everything 24/7.
Right.
Either you see something that you like and you want to share a scenery, either you see something that someone is doing something wrong and you want to make awareness that stop doing this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, if you're doing that and your intention are just that, I don't see personally any potential liability on that because you're not harming anyone. You're just expressing your view on this is what I saw and this, and we can see on social media a lot of people are sharing that. However, if a police officer is doing an investigation and you come right in between them and then putting a camera right their face and they're doing, for example, doing a warrant, a search warrant or arresting somebody, then you're interfering in a police investigation and that could lead to section 129 subsection 1, which you're interfering into the section 29A, section 29A of Criminal Code of Canada is that you're obstructing a police investigation. And of course, I'm not giving any advice on that. I want to be clear again. I just said that to make you laugh too, so you understand.
No, Aryan, the thing is, it's not the advice what we look for, but it is the awareness, right?
Exactly.
So if we have the right awareness, right information, then we will think twice before we do something irresponsible, right? अगर हम सिर्फ यही सोचते रहेंगे कि सब चलता है, सब ठीक है, क्या हो गया, मैंने तो सिर्फ एक ब्लॉग ही डाला या मैंने यही लिखा कि ये चीज़ ठीक नहीं है, लेकिन उसके भी कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हो सकते हैं। ये आप ज़रूर सोच के चलें। सोशल मीडिया एक ऐसा टूल है जिसको हम चाहें तो बहुत अच्छे से यूज़ कर सकते हैं, पॉजिटिव वे से यूज़ कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर हम उसका दुरुपयोग करना चाहें, उसको गलत तरीके से यूज़ करना चाहें, तो भी वो एक बहुत ही ख़तरनाक टूल या एक ख़तरनाक चीज़ ऐसी हो सकती है जो सबको बहुत हार्म कर सकती है। सो प्लीज़ मेक श्योर, और स्पेशली आजकल बहुत ज़्यादा सोशल मीडिया पर गहमा गहमी चल रही है। लोग एक छोटी सी बात को पूरी कम्युनिटी पे डाल देते हैं, एक छोटी सी बात को इतना बड़ा बना देते हैं जिसका कोई अस्तित्व नहीं होता है। और क्योंकि ये चीज़ जैसे आर्यन ने कहा कि किसी ए बंदे ने कही और उसको हम मानकर आगे डालते रहते हैं विदाउट एनी authentication. And Aaron is absolutely right that verify before you post anything. Be sure. Correct me if I'm wrong.
100% with you. I can't say it any better than that. And you know, I always tell my friends and even clients, if some clients say we want to go to media and post something, and I say this: look, media is not going to help you. Media is not a place to go seek justice. Media is a place where you want to go make awareness, as we mentioned, the farmers.
Very well said. Very well said.
Rally and everything.
Yes.
But if you are expecting to, for example, someone anonymously posting something, and you're going to keep giving that person unnecessary attention, that's what they want.
Of course, of course.
You want to, they want you to get involved in that. So the best thing is to just ignore it, block it, delete it. That's it. Move on with your life. At the same time, if you're being harassed and you feel like this person is going to do something to you and your personal safety or family safety is in question, of course we have police authority. Make sure you contact them and they will look into that for you. They should be looking into that for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they should be. That's their job, right?
तो आप देख रहे हैं हमारा प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस ओनली ऑन पंजाबी नेशनल टीवी, और हम लोग बातचीत कर रहे हैं आर्यन सदात जी से, जो कि लुआलन लॉ से हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं और बहुत ही बेहतरीन इंसान जो कि कम्युनिटी सर्विस के लिए हमेशा तत्पर रहते हैं। एक छोटा सा ब्रेक, देखते रहिए प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस। वेलकम बैक, एक बार फिर से स्वागत आप सबका हमारे प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस में। हम बातचीत कर रहे हैं सोशल मीडिया के प्रॉस एंड कॉन्स के ऊपर कनाडा के अंदर, और हम बातचीत कर रहे हैं मिस्टर आर्यन सदात जी से। आर्यन, the laws which are followed in Alberta, they are followed all over Canada, right?
Well, it depends on if it's a criminal code. Of course, it's all over Canada,
Right.
but mostly we live in a common law country, so of course it's a case law that yes, mostly it is. Of course, each area, province got their own sets of rules on certain areas,
Right.
but if certain things more, for example, in terms of defamation, it's a Supreme Court of Canada case, so of course that rely all over Canada.
Right.
And in terms of answering your question, if it is all over, it depends on what we are talking about.
No, absolutely, absolutely. सोशल मीडिया बहुत अच्छा भी हो सकता है, हमारे लिए बुरा भी हो सकता है, तो प्लीज़ सोच समझकर इस टूल को यूज़ करें। और जैसे आर्यन ने बोला कि इसमें सबसे अच्छी बात यह है, ब्लॉक करें, डिलीट करें, सारी टेंशन ख़त्म। यहाँ पर कोई इंसान आपको अगर आकर मुंह पे बोलता है कि ये चोर, आप चोर हैं, तो बात अलग है, लेकिन अगर मीडिया पे बात चल रही है, सोशल मीडिया पे मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, तो उसको इग्नोर भी किया जा सकता है अपने सुकून के लिए, अपनी बेहतरी के लिए, कि इस फालतू की चीज़ में क्यों पढ़ना है। अच्छी बातें शेयर करें, लोगों को अवेयर करें, अच्छी चीज़ों में अवेयर करें, और मेरे ख्याल से इसके लिए लॉ ज़रूर है। और अगर आप कभी इंफॉर्मेशन चाहते हैं, लीगल एडवाइस चाहते हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल से आर्यन सदात जी हमेशा कम्युनिटी सर्विस के लिए खड़े हैं। आर्यन, आई हर्ड दैट यू हेल्प लॉट ऑफ पीपल who got tickets during the rally, so how did it go?
Well, it was as you mentioned earlier, speaking of Sewad, I learned that word from my late friend Manmeet. He always used to say
Me too, to be very honest,
Yeah.
me too, yes.
So
yes.
as soon as you said that, that reminded me of that. In terms of community, I love, it's my passion to help community regardless of race, gender. Speaking of Manmeet, I was helping him with those families who were in Afghanistan, for the
Okay,
Sikhs,
right.
in terms of some translation and some other works that was needed to be done.
That's amazing.
So I've done that, and as you mentioned, I always, regardless, I understand that I practice law for a living, but if I see someone that is in need and they need help, let me be clear. My mentor, Mr. Clive Llewellyn, he has been mentoring me for past 2 years now. almost 2 years, and we made one thing clear: if someone needs help, let's help him. He has over 35 years experience, and having him on my site, I'm kind of picking up his habit that he's been doing for past 35 years. So if someone needs help, you know, you can't afford, I've been there, trust me, on other side when I needed a lawyer. So if you can't afford the lawyer, contact me. I'll try my best. If I can help you, I will help you. And my law firm, Llewellyn Law, will try our best to guide you at least at the right direction. Now, referring your question to the farmers rally. Sorry, I got a little bit emotional there.
Please, that's great. That's great.
Yes, when I saw that post when 57 or 67 tickets were issued to Calgary rally farmers protest, I said, what can I do? Because, you know, farmers are there for us. If they're not there, regardless, you know, there's no food on the table. Everything, the stable is not there if it's not for the farmers. So I made one thing clear, that I want to help them, and I put a post on my Facebook that anyone who got tickets, contact me, and I'll make sure I'll take care of it free of charge on a pro bono basis. Fortunately for us, and for those who contacted me up until end of January, we were able to withdraw all the tickets for them.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
However, it's you know, it's good time that you give me this opportunity. I want to mention to your listeners, if you have received a ticket at the Farmers Rally, contact me. Let's see if we can still help you. I don't understand why they missed it. Few people contacted us still and said that we missed the date. I'm still here. I will fulfill my promise. We will be there for you, whatever way we could possibly. That was the story for the farmers, and of course I do that just for the community. And down the road, if I could be any help, as I said, I want to be clear. If anyone needs any support in terms of legal advice on a pro bono basis and they can't afford, whether it's domestic, you have some landlord issue, commercial, anything to do with our area of law that we practice. At Llewellyn Law, we practice civil litigation, commercial litigation, immigration, and also we practice criminal and family law. So if I can be any help, of course let's be clear, I still have to do a living too. So
yeah,
I want to be clear on that part.
No, of course,
this offer is for those who are in trouble and can't afford. I'll try my best to help you.
That's amazing. And how to contact you?
They can contact us at my office line. It's 403-521-6369, or they can contact me on my personal cell, 403-471-6120. They can also have the options to send us an email, sadat, S-A-D-A-T, @llewellynlaw.net.
That's amazing. बहुत सारी बातें सदात ने मैं आज बताई जो कि हमारे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी हैं, और अगेन ये आज के टाइम के लिए बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट हैं। और एक बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर जो अभी आर्यन ने खुद बताया कि उन्होंने अपने फेसबुक पे ऐड डाली कि ही इज़ देयर टू हेल्प पीपल एंड पीपल केम टू हिम। सो सोशल मीडिया आप इसको कैसे यूज़ कर सकते हैं ये आपके ऊपर है, लेकिन हमारी आपसे यही गुजारिश है कि आप प्लीज़ बचकर रहें, सोच समझ कर इस टूल का प्रयोग करें। चाहे कनाडा हो चाहे इंडिया हो, फिर भी बात एक ही है, जहाँ पर सोशल मीडिया है वहाँ पे उसके अगेंस्ट उसके अराउंड लॉज हैं, उसके प्रॉस एंड कॉन्स हैं, प्लीज़ उनका ध्यान रखें। Aryan, before we end today's conversation, last words from you.
Well, last words from me is that I'm very grateful to be here today, and I really appreciate your work that you do for the community, and I'm one of your biggest fan in Calgary. I can't say all over the world because you got fans from all over. And my last word to the community is let's stand united, let's work together, and let's make Calgary a better place for all.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. On these words, मैं उसके अंदर ऐड कुछ नहीं करना चाहूँगा, क्योंकि जो मेरे दिल की बात थी वो आर्यन ने कही कि हम इकट्ठे रहें, मिलजुल कर रहें और इस कैलगरी को दुनिया का बेहतरीन सिटी बनाएं। प्लीज़ अपना ध्यान रखें, अपने माशरे का ध्यान रखें और मिलजुल कर आगे बढ़ें। मैं आपसे विदा लेता हूं और अगले वीक दोबारा आपके साथ अपने प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस में हाजिर होऊंगा। आप देखते रहिए हमारा टीवी चैनल पंजाबी नेशनल और सुनते रहिए हमारा रेडियो सुरसंगम। थैंक यू, टेक केयर।